up, YouTube? Topaz Yates back for another review, and this one's to the game Westside, and I'll give it the yellow light because honestly, this isn't going anywhere. There's nothing amazing about this song, but yet the game has the certain core fundamentals where he would kind of have to go out of his way or be completely off for him to make a completely awful song. You dig? So it's decent in the grand scheme of music, but yet he has done so much better over his career. And this is what kind of frustrates me, you dig? Because this is his first single off the Born to Rap album that he got coming. And for this song to be like pretty much next to nothing, entertaining wise and anything like that, from the concept to the music to everything in general, for it to not be anything, like, it goes to show you the executive producer that he brought on board here really wanted this to be like this, you dig? And for those of you who don't know, I believe it's either YG or Dom Kennedy. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but one of those two is the executive producer for this upcoming album. And neither of them are on the level of what the game is. And this is pretty terrible right here, because you would assume that the great of the music industry would be the one who's guiding the newer acts instead of the opposite way around. But this is the way that the music industry works. This is why individuals ride waves, especially the experienced veterans in the game. See, instead of the older generation seeing the new generation come up and try to mold them into doing better music than what they're doing, they see that they have a fan base, they have a buzz, and they're popping in the game. So let me go ahead and be like them so that I can get some of their audience and prolong my career in the music industry. And this is just the backwards way to do things. This is like when you look at the NBA, you dig? Like, they only give the keys to a franchise to a rookie or something if that's like a transcendent talent. Like today, Zion got selected by the Pelicans. Clearly, they're going to design the Pelicans around the strengths and weaknesses of what Zion has to offer. And that's like the only way that this works. But yet, it doesn't happen that way. The way the music industry works is a lot like, okay, you got KD, Russell Westbrook, both on the same team. And KD is clearly the better talent of the two. But yet, you're going to give Westbrook the ball and control of the game the entire way. No matter if you're winning or losing, the lesser talent is the one that's dictating what the supreme talent should be ultimately doing. That's what this comes off as, and that's why I don't feel as though this album is going to work. But let's go ahead and break down this song, man, starting with the production here, where, as I said, this production, it really doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. It's honestly not that complex. It's not that dope. But yet it's not bad either. It's like in a purgatory state where it's just there. And you become bored of it the more you listen to it, or it fades into the background and you just listen to it and forget that you're even listening to it. Which, that's not a good thing. Like, everything that you have, whether it's a super good reaction or a super terrible reaction, at the end of the day, you want a reaction. This project doesn't give you a reaction, starting with that production. But then when you break down the concept of what the game is doing here, what he's trying to do is paint a picture of what it is like to be gangbanging on the West Coast, where he specifically talks about certain things that is authentic. From how individuals are wearing bandanas, how everybody is out there rocking tracksuits at this point, like that's the fashion thing. The experience of committing drive-by shootings. And then he talks about women as well, on how they set people up with women. And these are all stories that I've heard of the West Coast to have been true. Now, but to be real with you, there's no core lyricism that's actually good here except for maybe one bar. He's talking about how he don't trust these chicks, he just beat them up right. So he gotta put them up in the Uber so he can sleep at night. Like, that was slick. It wasn't amazing by no means, but yet that's just super truthful. Like, you got to be careful with the women that you get out there on the West Coast, because in often cases, some of them are in the gangs, some of them get used by gang members, and they are ultimately trying to come up off of people anyway. So you can get set up, and you can't trust them to the degree that women just can't stay over your place as the game is dictating right here. And I like that, but for that to be the only bar on this song, it just fits into the whole context that this song is really nothing. Hopefully later songs will be better than this, but looking at the whole outset of everything about this, I don't think it will be, but we're gonna peep it out regardless. But this concludes today's review, man, and let's go ahead and touch on a couple news subjects here. Starting with Stefflon Don. If you guys saw this, she posted on Instagram a photo where she was being arrested by the police, as it's posted up in a comical tone. You feel me? Like she's trying to make fun of a situation. And she's writing in the description, Black Lives Matter. And this is simply just tone deaf, seeing as though we here in America are getting murdered consistently by the police. This is nothing to laugh about. And individuals on social media called her out on this. And instead of recognizing how insensitive this is, especially seeing as though these kinds of events happen all too often, she got defensive and started flipping out type stuff. You dig? And that's when Twitter does what Twitter does and all but says that it's over for her, nobody is rocking with her, and justifiably so, because this was awful. But here's just the reality that you got to understand. Like, these other black people of the world, they're not like black Americans. You feel me? That's why people come over from Africa and they be so heavy on the coon train, you dig, where they will never try to align themselves with black Americans. They are so heavily trying to get up with white people so that they can separate themselves from us. Actually, I know of a bunch of different Africans and stuff that will tell you stories like, okay, there was a neighborhood that we used to live in, and black people used to live here, white people used to live here, Mexicans used to live here, and Africans used to live here. Like, for real? But this is the mentality that Africans have. They separate themselves from black people as a whole. I'm not saying every single one of them, but yet this is just a consistent theme that I've seen within them. And Stefflon Don is exposing herself to actually believe in such terminologies, man, based off of this whole experiment that she randomly did for no particular reason. So at the end of the day, I'm cool on her just like everyone else is cool on her. I hope you enjoyed the show. You can follow me at Twitter up there, and you can go to downloadpads.com, that's down there, to read today's article.